Hello, folks. Today we're doing lesson 160. And the title is I Am at Home. Fear is the Stranger Here. It's 10 paragraphs long. We'll do 2 paragraphs at a time, and we'll do our best to finish in an hour. And hello, 573. We're doing lesson 160. All right, I'll go ahead and read the first 2 paragraphs. Lesson 160, I am at home. Fear is the stranger here. Paragraph 1. Fear is a stranger to the ways of love. Identify with fear, and you will be a stranger to yourself. And thus, you are unknown to you. What is yourself remains an alien to the part of you which thinks that it is real, but different from yourself. Who could be sane in such a circumstance? Who but a madman could believe he is what he is not and judge against himself? Paragraph 2. There's a stranger in our midst who comes from an idea so foreign to the truth he speaks a different language, looks upon a world truth does not know, and understands what truth regards as senseless. Stranger yet, he does not recognize to whom he comes, and yet maintains his home belongs to him, while he is alien now, who is at home. And yet how easy it would be to say, this is my home. Here I belong, and will not leave because a madman says I must. End of paragraph 2. All right, some points. Paragraph 1, sentence 1. Fear, or in this lesson, fear, you could say ego. So here says fear is a stranger to the ways of love, or you can say the ego is a stranger to the ways of love. Okay. Let's see. Sentence 2, paragraph 1. Identify with fear and you will be a stranger to yourself. Okay, so anytime you identify with the ego, you're going to be a stranger to yourself. You're not going to recognize who you truly are anytime you're aligned with the ego. And it's a tools and mindset. Judgment-centric, fear-based tools and mindset. Let's see. Okay. Paragraph 2, sentence 1. There's a stranger in our midst who comes from an idea so foreign to the truth, he speaks a different language. Okay, so there's a stranger in our midst. The ego is a stranger in our midst who comes from an idea so foreign to the truth. The truth is who we really are, the love that we are, that he speaks a different language. So the ego, no matter how insistent the ego is of its quote unquote language, that's not the truth in you. So you're never what the ego says you are. Okay? The ego might put you down in a dozen different ways. None of them are real or true because the ego itself is not real or true. Okay. Any comments or questions on paragraph 1 and 2?
Which chapter?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Go ahead.
Which chapter? I'm trying to find it.
It's lesson 160 on page 302 towards the back of the book. It goes to texts first, then the lessons.
Oh, it's okay. I'm using the online version, so it's
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Lesson 160.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay. And sentence 4, paragraph 2. Here I belong and will not leave because a madman says I must. Okay, if you choose to align with the ego's mindset, in essence, the course is saying you're a madman. You are crazy. Because the ego itself is crazy. So if you align with crazy, guess what? You're crazy. Well, that's okay. The ego itself is not really real or true. And so that craziness inside of you, that's not either real or true either. Any questions or comments on paragraph 1 and 2?
Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment. When you read the course, when you see the word you have to look at the context because it doesn't always mean the same thing. Um, there's you who you really are, and there's you who you think you are, and those are two different things. There's a line in the course that asks, who is the you that's living in this world? So when you see you in there, you have to look at the context. Which you is it talking about? And if you look at these paragraphs, it talks about two different yous. You who we are, our real self, and you who we think we are, a story.
Yes, so real self versus the story of who we think we are, or who we've been programmed to be by the ego. And so if you want sanity, you align with the truth in you, which is love. If you want insanity, the madman, then you align with unloving thoughts. But no matter how applicable those unloving thoughts are according to the ego, that's not what you truly want.
Come on, come on, come on.
To our little dog, talking to our little doggies. All right. Any other comments or questions on paragraph 1 and 2? Okay, would someone like to read paragraph 3 and 4?
I could read it.
Thank you.
What reason is there for not saying this? What could the reason be except that you have had asked this stranger in to take your place and let you be a stranger of yourself? No one would let himself be dispossessed so needlessly unless he thought there were another home more suited to his tastes. Who is the stranger? Is it fear or you who are unsuited to the home which God provided for his son? Is fear his own created in his likeness? Is it fear that love completes? And is it completely completed by ? And is it completed by? Okay. There is no home can shelter love and fear. They cannot coexist. If you are real, then fear must be an illusion. And if fear is real, then you do not exist at all. How simply then the question is resolved.
Right there is fine. 3 and 4.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. All right. Let's see. Paragraph 3, sentence 2. What could the reason be except that you asked this stranger, or you asked the ego, in to take your place, to take the place of the truth in you, and let you be a stranger to yourself? If you allow the ego to take your place, your rightful place, inside your mind, so to speak, then you're going to be a stranger to yourself. Okay? So when the ego controls any of your thoughts, what is the ego doing? If the ego can control your thoughts, it controls your mind and your life. Okay? So don't just allow the ego to begin to take control of your thoughts, because that's the way it begins to take control of your mind and your life. And then you feel like a zombie and you feel unfulfilled and you don't know why. And it's simply because you have unconsciously allowed the ego to take control over your thoughts and thus over your perception of the world you see. Let's see. Paragraph 4, sentence 1. Sorry, sentence 2. It is fear or you. Okay? Fear or you. It's very simple. You have two choices: fear or the truth in you, which is love. It's either fear or love, who are unsuited to the home which God provided for his son. Okay. In the Bible, and I think in the Course of Miracles too, it says that the body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. Okay?
Right.
So your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit. So either the Holy Spirit is in control, align with your mind. So it's either you and the Holy Spirit, or it's you and the ego. And each moment and interaction, consciously or not, you decide who is your guide. Are you allowing the ego to guide you? Or are you allowing the Holy Spirit to guide you? If they're unloving thoughts, you're allowing the ego to guide you. If they're loving thoughts, you're allowing the Holy Spirit to guide you. If you have anxiousness, fear, worry, and doubt, you're allowing the ego to guide you. If you have peace of mind and faith in God's divine design, then you're allowing the Holy Spirit to guide you. So this is not complicated, folks. Yes, the wording, when we read this, it seems a little complicated, but it's actually very simple. Who are you allowing to guide you in each moment and interaction? That's the one question you have to ask yourself. Yeah, so it's either the Holy Spirit or the ego running the show. Who do you want to run the show? Let's see, paragraph 4, sentence 5. There is no home can shelter love and fear. Okay, so either your home shelters love or it shelters fear. In the moment, it cannot do both things at the same time. So in each moment, you're allowing fear to be sheltered there or love to be sheltered there. The one you choose is the one you will experience. And in sentence 6, it says, paragraph 4 says, they cannot coexist. Okay, fear and love cannot coexist in the moment. Okay, you either choose one or the other. You either create a hellish mindset or a heavenly mindset. And that's what your brother or sister are offering you the opportunity. They're offering you the opportunity to create heaven on earth. But if you follow the ego, you're going to create a hell on earth. Any comments or questions on paragraph 3 and 4?
I have one, please.
Yes.
You're right. It's absolutely not complicated, James, at all. What I don't understand is why we let the ego take over, as in today, for most of the day. And I just knew I didn't feel right. And only when you read it, I realized, oh my gosh, yes, I was thinking all sorts of negative things. But I don't understand why I didn't pick it up early on in the day, like, oh, here's the ego. That's what's going on. I'm going to choose love. I'm going to choose peace instead of this. I don't know how to become aware that that's what's going on and then change my thoughts. Is that something that just comes automatically after studying the course more often?
Yes, that comes with practice.
Practice.
Practice, practice, practice. Keep asking yourself. Keep asking yourself, where are my thoughts? Are my thoughts aligned with love or are they not aligned with love? Am I at peace right now or am I lacking peace right now? So begin to ask yourself these questions more and more throughout the day. Right now, am I at peace? Okay, cool. Okay, I'm allowing the Holy Spirit to guide me. I'm at peace. That's fine. Or you ask yourself, wait a second, am I not at peace? Okay, I'm not at peace. So what happened? Where in what situation did I give my power over to the ego? You know, where am I holding on to some level of unforgiveness? Okay. And so usually if you're lack peace, it's because you're holding on to some unforgiving thought. And so just practice asking yourself, okay, am I at peace right now or not? Am I lacking peace? And am I feeling good right now or am I feeling off for some reason? If I'm feeling off, then question why it is that you're feeling off. You know, go deeper and ask yourself, why am I feeling off? What happened today? Or what thoughts am I carrying inside of me that are taking me out of alignment with the mind of God? And so all it is practice. The more you practice questioning where you are mentally, the more you'll see how much actual control you have over your state of mind. And so don't punish yourself if you didn't question yourself, if you allowed the ego to rule for a while, because all it is practice. The ego is offering you an opportunity to practice remembering that you can take back control in any moment or interaction. You don't have to allow the ego to rule your life.
You know, I find that, you know, the more you do this, the more the challenges come, because I've been practicing, you know, whenever the thought comes up or that I get aggravated, I'm asking myself, why am I aggravated here? And I have to stop in the moment and ask for forgiveness. And most of it is, I'm just thinking about it now, most of it is, I feel like I'm not being heard. You know, I feel like, because I've never felt like I'm being heard. So whenever anybody, you know, doesn't understand what I'm saying, or it brings up that frustration in me, and you know, I'm constantly saying, "Oh God, I messed up. I'm sorry." You know, I'm going to do better next time. But it's just as you're doing good, and then something comes up to test you. You know, and then you feel, "Oh, I fell all the way backwards." But it's coming out of fear, I think. It's coming out of, yeah, that pain. So the frustration is coming out of that pain. So I think once that pain is all weeded out, then maybe I won't have to feel like that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Ruby.
This is Ruby. So I just heard what you said, James. So it just fits perfectly what I have been reading, what the the message I have been coming to. And it just everything like just synchronized, it's just the same message I come to, because when you start, the first thing, when you start to be aware of your thoughts. So because the most time we're not aware, we think about the thousands of thoughts every day,
Yeah.
but we're not aware. But when you start to be mentally starting to be aware of what you're thinking, and actually the power of the thoughts is automatic programming behind behind your head. So when you start to be aware of it, you start to take your power back. So because you know you are not helpless anymore, so because it's like you're now aware your life is being run by the automatic programming. And when you first step is when you're aware of it, and then you start to see, is this fear based or love based? So and then you start to have a little bit control. So going towards love-based thoughts instead of fear-based thoughts. So you are starting to take back your power little by little. And the first thing is to be aware, and the second step to, so you will be able to have control of your life instead of let the ego to take control of your life. So maybe I'm out of topic a little bit. I just thought, the message is very much aligned. It almost like a puzzle, fall into, what I come to. It just fits perfectly, almost like I was being led to this class, to hear the message. So just that's what I'm thinking. So, and everybody. I'm on the same path also, start to, practice being more aware of myself and learning and growing, from there.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's say when you're feeling off, or you're feeling not being heard, or you're feeling just a little bit off or not at peace, okay? The ego is immediately going to try to put you down for being not spiritual enough, not wise enough, not whatever enough, okay? So don't punish yourself when the ego responds to your lack of self-awareness. Just remind yourself, okay, this is just another opportunity for me to practice self-awareness. Anytime I'm feeling a little bit off, just stop for a second. Remember the ego always answers first and loudest, okay? So you don't have to punish yourself for being out of alignment with the truth in you, which is peace. Okay. And then ask yourself, why? Why am I lacking peace? Do I feel like I'm not being heard?
Yeah.
Do I feel like maybe I judged somebody earlier on today, and I kept those judgments because I thought they were worthy. They were worth holding on to because that person didn't deserve to be forgiven or whatever. And so all this is, these challenging times, it's an opportunity to practice self-awareness. Practice remembering that we don't belong out of alignment with the state of peace. We belong in the state of peace. So anytime you're lacking peace, practice going back within and asking yourself, why am I lacking peace right now? What thoughts am I supporting with my time, focus, and energy that are not supporting me, that are not supporting my peace of mind? What thoughts? And then change those thoughts gently, with compassion, with mercy, and with grace. Offer yourself that mercy and grace and come back to center, come back to peace. Forgive those unforgiven thoughts and let them go. And just take it as another opportunity. Every time I get to practice, I become more and more self-aware. And then I spend becoming more and more self-aware by asking yourself those questions. You spend less and less time in the delusion, in the darkness of the ego's fairy tale. And so you see, even the quote unquote bad stuff, the challenging times where you judge yourself, there are actually opportunities to practice self-awareness. And so now we can thank those difficult, challenging times, and we can thank those people in those difficult, challenging times, because we're finding out that all they're doing is offering us the opportunity to practice self-awareness. And so thank you, person A and B, who I judged this morning. All right. Any other comments?
Anytime when you have the thoughts, this is not big enough, not enough, not not good enough. That's from the ego. So in Holy Spirit's eyes, everything's perfectly aligned. So that's why if you feel at peace, you're aligned with the Holy Spirit. But if you say this is not good enough, not big enough, not as much as I want, that's separation from the Holy Spirit. That is my thought. Yeah.
Yeah, because remember, God is perfection, and God only creates perfectly. So you're never not good enough. Only the ego will say that. Only a liar would say that a lie. Okay?
Yeah.
So when the ego's saying you're not good enough, that's a lie. Okay? Because you are God's child and creation. You are perfection's child and creation. So you are perfect exactly the way you are at this moment.
Okay. That I'm not good enough is, it's something that really gets embedded. My father used to say that to me. I'm sure, he was just coming out of his own page. He's like, you're never going to be any good. You're just going to be like your mother, And I always thought that, and it's there, deep down, like you know it with your head that it's not true, but you don't know it with your heart. So it's hoping the course will get down to the root of that, dig all the way down and just dig it all out until it's gone.
Yes. And so when you're starting to feel like you're not being heard, where does that come from? That comes from your father saying that you're not good enough, you're not worthy enough. And so you see, you're not really angry at that person who, quote unquote, is not listening to you. You're actually angry at your father for teaching you that you're not good enough, you're not really worthy of being heard.
Right.
All that not worthy of being heard does not come from the now. It comes from way in the past.
Yeah. And it comes from the nuns in the orphanage.
Yeah.
Where you had no voice. People thought, oh, you grew up in an orphanage with nuns, it's going to be great. They're very cruel, So it came from that too.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what does that mean? Okay, so when you feel like you're not being heard, what is that offering you? It's offering you an opportunity to forgive the nuns. It's offering you an opportunity to forgive your father. So this person here, who the ego would attack because he or she is not listening to you, what they're doing is they're offering you the opportunity to forgive your past and the people in your past. And so when you start to recognize that this person here, who the ego would have be condemned because I think they're not listening to me, is actually offering you the opportunity to forgive your father and to forgive the nuns, then you start to offer them gratitude because you start to realize all they're doing is helping me find peace with my past. So I can be truly in the now. Okay. So as it is, there's a divine design. It's all perfect. It's all good. And it's all here for you to help you grow, heal, and awaken to who you truly are. So you start to see the perfection of each and every moment and the gift that each and every moment truly is. Any other comments or questions in paragraph 3 and 4?
Yeah, it applies to me too because I was at certain time some things and people I met and I start to lose self-confidence. I always kind of fear. It's the same as what you have, basically fear of everything, but don't know what to fear. What exactly is, just constantly in fear. So being shy, being not able to speed up, and no self confidence. That's all based on the fear. So that's also a message for me to go back and forgive everything, even the people, the things that come to my life. It's a way for me to get push me to this path of self awakening, to learn the lesson for this life. Yeah.
But like you were shy. I was the opposite. If you meet me, you just think I'm the most outgoing, the most brave, the most, go-getter person in the world. And I am kind of like that, but I'm just a little girl who's so afraid of everything inside, and so I guess we can go in two different ways. We can either be shy or we can be outgoing, which is trying to hide the fear that we really have. I'm going to make you see me because I feel invisible. So I need to make you see me because I don't think that you see me. I think I'm invisible.
Oh, I was
you know
like, I wish nobody noticed me, so I was like hiding. I was like, so that's another way of, fear
yeah.
manifested. Um, so yeah, we are on the same path. So,
Yeah, so whenever you're feeling shy, okay, that shyness is a false belief that it's living inside of you, okay?
yeah,
And it was created there by the past, by something and some people in the past, okay?
yeah.
And you as a little girl, you believed what those people said, okay?
Mm.
And so you became shy and quiet and what have you, okay?
Yeah, it's all fear based because of fear of, what could come back to me. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Mm.
So whenever that happens and that shyness comes to your mind, right, like right in now, in the moment,
Mm.
use it as an opportunity to practice remembering that perfection
Mm.
created you, and that perfection, be, being perfect, only creates perfectly. So I
Mm.
am perfect as God created me,
Mm.
and I reinforce that by forgiving all those who created this false belief within me.
Right.
And so you use that moment not to go deeper into the shyness, but instead to trust God more
Mm.
and to forgive your past,
Right.
so that you can let go of the past and come back into the present moment where
Yeah.
you and God are one. So if you and God, if you truly start to believe that you and God are one, there's no need for shyness.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Because anything that you say needs to be heard by those who you said it to. Because there's a divine design in place, right?
Mhm.
And so anything we say to each other right now is something that we needed to hear.
Mm,
Because we're all one, right? So
right.
each one of us is a different aspect of each other one.
Yeah.
So I have
That's the
a,
message I just read this afternoon. Exactly the same message.
yeah, so I have a little Lori here, I have a little Mike here, I have a little Gay here, I have a little Ruby here, and I have a little 573 here.
Yeah.
And so each one of them are being healed by our conversation.
Thank you.
Yes. Any other comments or questions before we move ahead? Okay, would somebody like to read paragraph 5 and 6?
I could read it if no one else wants to read it. How simply then the question is resolved: who fears has but denied himself and said, I am the stranger here. And so I leave my home to one more like me than myself, and give him all I thought belonged to me. Now is he exiled of necessity, not knowing who he is, uncertain of all things but this, that he is not himself, and that his home has been denied to him. What does he search for now? What can he find? A stranger to himself can find no home wherever he may look, for he has made return impossible. His way is lost, except a miracle will search him out and show him that he is no stranger now. The miracle will come, for in his home his self remains. It asked no stranger in and took no alien thought to be itself. And it will call its own unto itself in recognition of what is its own.
All right. Okay. Paragraph 5, sentence 2. Who fears has but denied himself and said, I am a stranger here. So anytime you're judging self or others, you become a stranger to yourself. Why? Because you have allowed the ego to take control of your thoughts. Okay. So if you're not aligned with love, you become a stranger in your own house, in your own home. Okay. You're never going to feel at home as long as you allow the ego to think for you. So you're always going to feel like a stranger within yourself when you allow the ego to think the thoughts, the ego thoughts, instead of your true loving thoughts. When you start to allow the ego to think those fear-based, judgment-centric thoughts, you become a stranger in your own home. Your own home being your own body. Okay? And your own body being the temple of the Holy Spirit. And so when you allow the ego to think for you, the Holy Spirit is kind of like blanketed over, and you're not seeing the Holy Spirit. You're just the ego is just seeing its thoughts as real, it's seeing these lies as true, these unloving, judgmental thoughts as true, and so you kind of blanket over who you truly are, and so you feel like a stranger within your own home. Paragraph 6, sentence 4. His way is lost, except a miracle will search him out and show him that he is no stranger now. Okay, accept the miracle. It's very simple. That's the shift in perception. Okay, as a miracle helps bring you back to your true home. Okay, so it's a shift in perception from a mindset that is focused on fear to a mindset that's focused on love. Okay, so when your mindset is focused on fear, when the ego's thinking for you, you become a stranger to yourself. And how do you get back to being in alignment with the Holy Spirit, with the truth in you, with love? Through a miracle, through a shift in perception, by remembering that you can choose peace instead of this, that you can shift from fear to love, that all it takes is a gentle and simple choice. You're always a gentle and simple choice away from being who you truly are and who God created you to be, which is the loving light of the world, in each moment and interaction. Any comments or questions on paragraph 5 and 6?
I got that other class that I facilitate, the other course class that I facilitate, so I have to leave, guys. Thanks, everybody.
All right, bro. Take care.
Take care.
Any other comments or questions on paragraph 5 and 6? No? All right. Let's go to 7 and 8. I'll go ahead. So unless somebody else wants to read, I'll go ahead. All right. Paragraph 7. Who is the stranger? Is he not the one yourself calls not? You are unable now to recognize this stranger in your midst, for you have given him your rightful place. Yet is yourself, and note this, a capital S, yet yourself as certain of its own as God is of his Son. He cannot be confused about creation. He is sure of what belongs to him. No stranger can be interposed between his knowledge and his Son's reality. He does not know of strangers. He is certain of his Son. Paragraph 8. God's certainty suffices. Who he knows to be his Son belongs where he has set his Son forever. He has answered you who ask, who is the stranger? Hear his voice assured you, quietly and sure, that you are not a stranger to your Father, nor is your Creator a stranger made to you. Whom God has joined, remain forever one, at home in him, no stranger to himself. Okay. Let's see. Paragraph 7, sentence 3. You are unable now to recognize this stranger in your midst. Remember that the ego is always a stranger. For you have given him your rightful place. Again, what we kind of mentioned before is that when in quotes, you are thinking unloving thoughts because the truth in you can not think unloving thoughts, okay? The truth in you only thinks loving, compassionate, merciful thoughts, loving, peaceful thoughts. So, let's see here. You're unable to recognize this stranger in your midst, for you have given him your rightful place. So when you unconsciously allow the ego to take control of your mind, you're allowing the ego to take your rightful place. You belong in control of your mind, not the ego. Okay? So your rightful place is in control of your mind and aligning your mind with the Holy Spirit within you. That's your rightful place. You're unable to recognize this stranger in your midst, for you have given you. So when you allow the ego to think for you, you're not going to recognize the ego. So you have to practice recognizing when you're out of alignment with love. Am I out of alignment with love, loving thoughts, peaceful thoughts? That means that the ego is in control of my thoughts. So learn to recognize the stranger. Okay, it's important to start to recognize the stranger. Okay, let's see. Paragraph 7, sentence 6. He is sure of what belongs to him. No stranger can be interposed between his knowledge and his Son's reality. Okay, so when you align with the Holy Spirit, the ego cannot enter. No stranger or no ego can be interposed between his knowledge, God's knowledge, and your reality. Okay, so God's knowledge and your reality are one, right? So when they're one, that blocks the ego from coming in. When your mind is aligned with the mind of God, that blocks the ego from coming in. Okay, when you're choosing peace, that blocks conflict from coming in. When you're aligned with an expression of love, which is like forgiveness, then you're blocking the ego's judgment from coming in. When you're trusting in the divine designer, okay, you're blocking fear and anxiousness and worry from coming in. So when you align with God, you block the ego, okay? Let's see. Paragraph 7, sentence 8. He does not know of strangers, okay? Okay, he does not know of strangers means God only knows the truth in you. And God only sees the truth in you as true. So what you want to practice is viewing yourself and others as God views you. Okay? View yourself and others as God views you. That's a good practice. Practice seeing the world and those in it as God sees you. Any comments or questions for paragraphs 7 and 8? I know the wording in this lesson is a little tricky,
Yeah.
but the message is clear. We're trying to make the lesson as clear as possible because it's a pretty simple lesson, even though the words are complicated in the lesson. Pretty simple message. In paragraph 8, sentence 4, hear his voice, assure you, quietly ensure you are not a stranger to your Father. Okay, you're not a stranger to God. Paragraph 8, sentence 5, God has joined, remained forever one, at home in him, no stranger to himself. And so remember, as you try to treat yourself with that mercy and grace, we're all one, okay? So the only way to have true mercy and grace is to treat all others with mercy and grace, okay? If you're not treating others with mercy and grace, then you're withholding that mercy and grace from yourself, because we're all one. Any comments or questions on paragraph 7 and 8? I'm not at home. Fears the stranger here. Okay, if no questions, then would somebody like to read paragraph 9 and 10?
I'll go ahead.
Thank you.
Today we offer thanks that Christ has come to search the world for what belongs to him. His vision sees no strangers, but beholds his own and joyously unites with them. They see him as a stranger, for they do not recognize themselves. Yet as they give him welcome, they remember, and he leads them gently home again, where they belong. Not one does Christ forget, not one he fails to give you to remember, that your home may be complete and perfect as it was established. He has not forgotten you, but you will not remember him until you look on all as he does. Who denies his brother is denying him, and thus refusing to accept the gift of sight by which his self is clearly recognized, his home remembered, and salvation come.
All right, thank you. Yes, this is a lot, these two paragraphs. Okay. Paragraph 9, sentence 1. Today we offer thanks that Christ has come to search the world for what belongs to him. Okay, so we all belong to Christ. Okay. And so today we offer thanks. So practice being more grateful today. No matter what you're experiencing, no matter how many times the ego takes control over your thoughts, practice answering the ego with gratitude. The ego doesn't like that. Okay, so no matter what you're feeling, offer gratitude. Gratitude aligns you with the mind of God. And so it takes you away from the ego. That's why the ego doesn't like it. And so when the ego tells you, judge yourself or others, and you say, thanks, ego, but no thanks. The ego is like, darn. And so make gratitude a tool in your tool belt. is a very, 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 very useful tool. Okay, his vision of paragraph 9, sentence 2. His vision sees no strangers. Okay, his vision, we always want to see the world like Christ or God sees the world, okay? We always want to practice that. Practice seeing your brothers and sisters as Christ sees them. His vision sees no strangers. So practice seeing no strangers. Nobody's a stranger to me. Nobody's a stranger to you. Try. What I do is anybody who's older than me, I see as my mother and my father. Anybody who's my age, I see as my brother and my sister. And anybody who's younger than me, I see as my daughter and my son. Okay? So when you do that, you practice seeing no strangers. You practice seeing everybody as God sees them. Okay? So it's always useful to try to do what God does. Okay, but beholds his own and joyously unites with them. They sentence 3, paragraph 9. They see him as a stranger, for they do not recognize this in themselves. Okay, so you see God as a stranger only when you don't recognize the truth inside of you. Okay, so if you're seeing a stranger out there, that's because you're not recognizing who you truly are, which is God's child in creation, which is who they are. So they are and you are the same thing. Okay. So when you see as God sees, you will see no strangers, and you will see Christ as God, God as God, Holy Spirit as God, and then you will recognize who you truly are. Let's see. Paragraph 10, sentence 2. Not one he fails to give you to remember that your home may be complete and perfect as it was established. Okay, so each and every person, everyone is here to help you practice choosing God over the ego, in essence. Not one he fails to give to you, okay? So not one he fails to give to you means that everybody that God sends your way is here to help you remember that you are perfect and complete as you were established by God, okay? So that's what every single person you ever meet is really offering you. The opportunity to remember that you are perfect and complete. Okay? And let's see. Paragraph 10, sentence 3, he has not forgotten you, but you will not remember him until you look on all as he does. So again, you have to look on every single person out there as family. Okay? As God's child in creation, just as you are God's child in creation. And it says, but you will not remember him, you will not remember God until you see God in everybody. Okay? So do you want to remember God? Then see God in everyone. And then who denies his brother is denying him. Okay? So if you deny your brother, you're withholding God's love from yourself. And thus refusing to accept the gift of sight by which his self is clearly recognized. If you want God's sight, see your brother and sister as they were created, not as the ego says they are. And so you see your brother and sister as a stranger because you do not recognize yourself. And until you recognize that you, your brother and sister are one, you will feel like a stranger to yourself. Okay? Any comments or questions on paragraph 9 and 10?
No.
I know the wording was a little bit intricate. Is that a word? Intricate?
Intricate. Yeah, intricate.
Yes. It's a bit intricate. But if you just little by little digest it, you can see the points. And they're pretty simple points.
A little bit confusing it was.
Yes. So I am at home. Fear's a stranger here, okay? So you belong in control of your mind And when you're in control of your mind, when the truth in you is in control of your mind, fear becomes a stranger. Okay? So fear is a stranger, and trust is your true home. So when you trust in the divine, when you trust in God, fear becomes a stranger. When you align your mind with God, fear is a stranger. So if you're feeling any sort of fear, anxiousness, worry, doubt, any sort of anger, resentment, hatred, sense of revenge, then you have given away your thoughts to the ego. Take your thoughts back. Do not punish yourself for being out of alignment with the mind of God. Just take your thoughts back by aligning them with the love that you are. And then thank the experience, because all it's offering you is life experience. It's offering an opportunity to practice going from not controlling your mind to controlling your mind. From aligning with the ego to aligning with God. And the more you get to practice this shift, aka miracle, the shift in perception, the more natural and normal it would feel to be aligned with God, and the less time you will spend in the delusion of the ego's world and mindset. Any final comments or questions before we close?
Nope.
Nope. Everybody's good?
Yeah.
All right. All right, well, we'll go ahead and close. It was lesson 160. I am at home. Fear is the stranger here. Thank you very much. Thank you, Lori.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Ruby.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, 573. All right, and I'll go ahead and close. Thank you, folks. Good night.
Good
All right.
night.
Bye.